joining every single day and giving your beautiful association to us. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody else who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada, this is Preeti Vilasini Devidasi from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much, Vishwamati Mataji, for your beautiful welcoming, and also thanks to Asara for Kamala Gopi Mataji for chanting.
Hare Krishna, Priti Vilasani Devidasi Mataji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your beautiful association. Mataji, all glories to your services, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody else who would like to introduce? Mataji, can you start recording so I can read the Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's quote? So, thank you all dear devotees. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha mid-morning japa session. Before we start our today's session, I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today. July 10. Although the goddess of fortune is very restless and does not like to stay in one place for very long time, she is always finding new wonderful things in serving Krishna's lotus feet, so that she never thinks of leaving him. This is actually the position of Krishna consciousness, that when we get some taste of rendering sublime, loving service to the Lord, no more do we have any taste for any other engagements. Letter to Lakshmi Moni, July 10, 1969. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Pavan Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. So once again, thanks dear devotees. Today we are so fortunate to have His Grace Acintya Gopesh Das Prabhuji on the topic of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya Khand, Chapter 1, verses number 22 to 49. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Danvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for giving your beautiful time, association, and valuable time to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic, Prabhuji. I now hand over call to you, and we are very eagerly to
Great.
to hear.
Thank you.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Am I audible? Is the voice clear?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. We will begin with the invocation prayers. Om Ajnanativiranandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktāya Tadbhaktāya Namo Jayatam Surato Kungo Mamandavatirgati Mat Sarvasva Padambojo Radha Madhanam. So, welcome everybody to this discussion on this lecture on Chaitanya Bhagavat. We are today looking at, we are going to discuss Chaitanya Bhagavat and especially the Antya Khanda. So, it's very wonderful. We have been listening for so long. All of us have been associated and we have been able to relish and participate in the pastimes of the Lord. And we have now reached Antya Leela. And within the Antya Leela, we are in the first chapter. So we are going to today read from the first chapter, and we are going to look at verses starting from 22, right? We are starting
Yes,
from,
Prabhuji.
yeah. So let me just project and then we'll start. You are able to see?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
So we are now discussing Antya Leela. And Antya Leela, as you know, is after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas. The focus of Antya Leela is going beyond Navdeep and preaching to multiple people, especially people who are non-devotees, and also relishing the internal pastimes. So we are going to, in the Antya Leela, we are at a place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has already taken sannyas, and he has, like in the previous verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has spent the entire night dancing with the spiritual master, and now we are going to see the entire Leela from there. Now, before we approach the verses, we'll read few verses and then we'll discuss. Text 22. Prabhata haile Prabhu Bahya Prakashiyam Chalilena Guru Stani Vidaya Layam. In the morning, the Lord exhibited external consciousness. He approached his Guru for permission to leave. Other readings for Laya to take are Kariya to do and Hiya to be. Uh, text 23. Arane Pravishta Muni Haimu Sarvata Prananata Mora Krishna Chandrapana Yata. I must enter the forest to search for Sri Krishna Chandra, the Lord of my life. গুরু বলে আমি চলিব তোমার সঙ্গে থাকিব তোমার সাথে সংকীর্তন রঙ্গে. His Guru replied, I will go with you. I will stay with you and relish the ecstasy of Sankirtan. Another reading for Sankirtana is Krishna Katha. Kripa kari Prabhu sange lai lena tane agre Guru kariya chalila Prabhu vane. The Lord mercifully allowed him to accompany him. Keeping his Guru in front, the Lord departed for the forest. So you will see in these pastimes that the Lord is now embarking on his next set of mission where he has taken sannyas. I am sure you have discussed the reasons for taking these sannyas elaborately. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu obviously wanted to preach across the world from an external point of view, and from an internal point of view, associate, from an internal point of view, relish the pastimes of the Lord and meet Krishna. So he is externally acting like a devotee who is searching for Krishna, and internally in the mood of Radharani, feeling the separation from Krishna and wanting to meet Krishna. Now he is obviously decided that if I am part of a particular family, particular society, then people are not only are they not taking my some of my teaching seriously, but like in the case of some of his students, they are also starting to criticize. And if they criticize, obviously they will fall down. Whereas Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to deliver all the conditioned souls, so that will not be according to his mission. So he decided on one level to externally relinquish all these family and other designations and become the citizen of the world, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. The citizen of the world, as in become a sannyasi who belongs to everyone and who tries for the elevation of everyone. So he has taken sannyas, and after he has taken sannyas, he is uh, with his sannyas guru. And as you know, that his sannyas guru comes from uh, the impersonal line. And after taking the sannyas, he is going to establish some pastimes. In this pastimes, we will primarily see how he interacts with various devotees. And with various devotees, he has very different pastimes. Now, we have discussed this in the past. Externally, these pastimes might appear like uh, pains of separation, but like we discussed in many classes before, and even in the previous classes, we have explained how the pain of separation from an external point of view is actually ecstasy from an internal point. Can anybody remember and tell me what is that we discussed? Why is this external separation actually internal ecstasy? We used certain examples and quoted from some places to discuss this in the previous few lectures. Does anybody remember why is the external separation internally ecstasy?
Because in separation, there is a union, inward union. There is a
Yes.
complete union. And that was experienced by the gopis in Vrindavan. It was
Yes.
one of the, yeah. And rather Mother Sita during her exile. I'm not in exile, and also in Ashok Vatika.
Yes, in Sita in Ashopatika. So we discussed that. And we gave a specific uh, sort of, from one of the pastimes, we derived this, we gave this reference as to how gopis are feeling internal ecstasy in external separation. And when did gopis realize this? Can anybody recollect what pastime we had spoken about?
Uddhava's message.
Sorry, Pravas?
Was it during Uddhava's message?
Yes, Uddhava's message. Yes, very correct. We spoke elaborately upon Uddhava's message, and we spoke about how Uddhava's message translated into the realization for the gopis. So externally, what appears as separation and pain is, like Mataji said, because of internal union, and specifically the way of meditation that Uddhava gave in his message, a deep feeling of presence of Krishna in the heart and also in all the uh, so-called the remembrance of Krishna, or the so-called hallucinations they have. They participate one-on-one with Krishna, and Krishna himself appears in those dreams. Remembrance or hallucinations, as some people call it from an external point of view. So there is intense uh, proximity and to Krishna, and that turns into a feeling of ecstasy. So that we have already seen. Now, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu engages in these pastimes, every devotee who comes in contact with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will undergo, and this is the other point that we were making, that every devotee who comes in contact with these viraha pastimes then goes a level up. They sort of, shall we say, progress in their spiritual understanding and relationship with Krishna, and they progress ahead in their spiritual life. So even in this entire sequence of pastimes, you will see how devotees are, interacting with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they are elevating in their own spiritual experience. Like we discussed again the case of gopis in the previous lectures, where we spoke about the new gopis who are coming in, who go through this viraha and their prema becomes condensed and they are elevated to Goloka. And similarly, you will see this happening in multiple pastimes. So in this particular set of slokas from 22 to 48, 49, we are going to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dealings with his own sannyas guru, and then with Chandrasekhar Acharya, and then the effect of these pastimes on the Navdeep Vasis, especially Advaita Acharya and Sachi Mata, and all the intimate devotees of Krishna. Right? So, in the first part, 3-4 slokas we have read, we have looked at how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is interacting with his sannyas guru. Now, we all know that externally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking sannyas from the impersonal line. He is doing so to elevate and also sort of give the pleasure of Krishna Sankirtan to all these impersonalists and Mayavadis who in multiple pastimes after this will experience, whether it in Jagannath Puri, in Varanasi, in multiple places, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to convert Mayavadis into devotees of Krishna. So the entire night, along with his sannyas guru, he has been dancing in the ecstasy, right? And when he came to external consciousness, he started behaving like a sadhaka, and he said, now I have to leave to search for Krishna. So I have to go to the jungle. And his plan, as we know, was to go to Vrindavan and, in the mood of Radharani, associate with Krishna. So he approached his guru for permission to leave. Or, as His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj is elaborating here, or career to do his internal pastimes. He took the permission to perform his internal pastime, or to be in his internal mood and go alone to the forest. But what happens is, and he's saying that I must go to the forest and search for Krishna. And we are seeing that his sannyas guru has felt the ecstasy of Sankirtan. And here he is illustrating. So from an external point of view, for the hearers of the pastime and for devotees, we clearly see here an example when somebody who is in the Mayavadi stage or at the Brahman stage is experiencing the ecstasy of Sankirtana and realizing that Krishna Sankirtan is far, far, far more ecstatic, and there is no comparison with Brahma Sukha or the pleasure which is felt in when attaining the equanimity of Brahman. So this is far, far higher than Brahman, and there is no comparison, in fact. So his guru is saying, I will go with you. I will stay with you and relish this ecstasy of Sankirtan. Right? And it could also mean this Kirtan, and it could also Krishna Katha, because now he has become a devotee of Krishna. This is what happened to Sukdev Goswami also. He was, when he was born, he was acting like a Brahma Vadi, equanimity in Brahman. But Vedavyas wrote the slokas of Bhagavatam, and when his disciples were singing in the forest, when he heard the two slokas, Aho Bakiyam Stanakalakutam, and when he heard the beautiful description of Krishna's form, Barha Pitam Natvara Vapu. So that entire, it moves from neutral, it moves to understand the guna, the qualities of Krishna, and when that goes into the heart, then the qualities attract, and that love becomes devotional service. So here, it seems like his sannyas guru is also undergoing that kind of a transformation, and he is requesting that please allow me. And Here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he said he mercifully allowed him to accompany. You don't say that he is giving mercy to his guru. Generally, people don't say that, but here Lord is mercifully allowing him to accompany him, which means while he is keeping guru in the front, almost he has become a follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this has happened before, right? This is the mercy of the Vaishnavas, mercy of the Lord. In which other instances has this happened? When the guru has started to follow, has given up his philosophy and started to follow in association with his disciple. Which are the other incidents you can remember when such things have happened?
His own guru, is that the question, where they follow the own disciple?
Yeah.
I can remember.
Ramanujacharya.
Yeah.
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 Yes, Ramanujacharya, this happened. So in his childhood, he was taking Sanskrit grammar and other lessons from Yadav Prakash, who was part of the Advaita philosophy. And he was going to the school of Yadav Prakash. And there is that famous discussion on Chandogya Upanishad, uh, on the verse which mentions Kapi, right? So Yadav Prakash explained this in accordance with Shankaracharya's line that Kapi Pundari Kaksha, he was describing that the eyes of the Lord are red. And when asked the question, how red, he gave a very distasteful comparison. He said, red like the bottoms of a monkey. Kapi, he translated as monkey. And this translation from a Sanskrit point of view might be okay for some grammar people and for impersonalists to consider that God has no form. But for people who are lovers, who are devotees, who see Krishna, who understand Krishna, and who are deeply in relation with Krishna, who are relishing the form, qualities, Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela of Krishna, this is very, very hurting. To see somebody describe such a beautiful form of Krishna in such derogatory terms. And because Ramanujacharya was devoted to Krishna, he felt very sad. In fact, a tear rolled down his eyes. And he said, Kapi he's challenged his guru on this translation. And he said, do you have a better meaning? So he then translated Kapi as the sun. And he said, this description says that Lord's eyes are like the lotus which blooms due to the influence of the sun. Kapi Pundarikaksha. So then, hearing this, Yadav Prakash got very angry. And he understood that this person is going to dissuade everybody from the translations of Advaita philosophy school. Later in life, he even tried to kill him. But Ramanujacharya escaped. And eventually, Ramacharya met Yamunacharya. He saw him from a distance. And later, after the death of Yamunacharya, the 5 disciples of Yamunacharya, he accepted as gurus. And by coming into the Vaishnava school and understanding the Vaishnava philosophy, he became the leader of the Vaishnavas, and he was preaching. And later, Lord the mother of Yadav Prakash was also a devotee of Lord Ranganath, and by the influence of his mother and by the influence of Ramanujacharya, Yadav Prakash later in life approached Ramanujacharya and said, "Oh, I am very, very sorry. I was under the Mayavada philosophy," and he begged forgiveness, and he requested Ramanujacharya to accept him as a disciple. So Ramanujacharya mercifully accepted him as a disciple and gave him the service of, he named him Govindacharya, and he gave him the service of writing the rules of for the Vaishnavas and Sannyasis. He wrote the rule book for how the Sannyasis and Vaishnavas are to behave. So this mercy of a devotee, it is only by the mercy of a devotee that one can get this love for Krishna. We have discussed in the previous classes where Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur discusses this point, and he gives many reasons, and he himself explains why they are not correct. First, he says that, is it by chance that you get devotional service? Then he says, no, how can just by chance it happen? It doesn't happen by chance, this is love. Then he says, is it because of some sukriti? Then he says, no, previous sukritis cannot give rise to devotional service to the Lord. Just sukritis can give you association. And finally, he goes on into multiple arguments, and he says that this love can only come from where the love is, and the love is in the heart of a devotee. And when that devotee is pleased with the other person, he is free to share it. And this virus then goes from the heart of the devotee to the heart of the person receiving that mercy. And thereby he becomes ecstatic in the devotional service. He starts to feel the mellows of devotional service of Krishna. And that is what is happening here. That by association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that ecstasy and that love for Krishna in his heart has spread to the heart of his sannyas guru, and he is also dancing in ecstasy. So the question can be asked, and what is this process called when you transfer from your heart, or somebody transfers from their heart the love for Krishna and gives the seed of love for Krishna to the other person? What is that? What is that activity called?
Diksha.
No, Diksha or initiation. So we can see, the question can be asked, who has initiated whom, right? Did his sannyas guru initiate him, or did he initiate his sannyas guru, right? So externally, and yes.
He initiated us.
Actually, the seed got transferred the other way around. He received his name and danda, right? So this is the difference between the external pastime and the internal pastime. So externally, he took from the, Saraswati clan or whatever, from the Mayavada, Advaita clan. But he has actually given the ecstasy. So the first devotee is Sannyas Guru. When he has come in association with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has got now elevated. He is now not only getting the mellows of devotional service, but the highest mellow of devotional service of engaging in chanting in separation with Krishna. And the mellow of Braja Prema, of Radharani's Prema, is what he's getting at this point in time. So we can clearly see he has got completely transformed. He has gone from his level to the next level. So this is the pastime that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in one sense, wants to do by taking sannyas. And as soon as he's taking sannyas, he's starting to deliver multiple people, especially non-devotees. Now we'll read further. तबे चंद्रशेखर आचार्य कोले करी उच्च है स्वरे कंदीते लगिला गौर हरि. Then Gaura Hari embraced Chandrasekhar Acharya and began to cry loudly. गृहे चला तुम्ही सर्व वैष्णवेर स्थाने कहियो सबरे आमी चलीला बने. Go home and inform all the Vaishnavas that I am going to the forest. गृहे चला तुम्ही दुख न बावी हमने तुम्हारा हृदय आमी बंदी सर्व क्षणे. Return home without feeling remorse, for I am always bound within your heart. Another reading for Chala Tumi, you go, is Yaha Kichu, whatever happens. Tumi mora pita muni nandana tomara janma janma tumi prema samahati hamara. You are my father and I am your son, and you are my beloved associate birth after birth. The word samhati in the phrase prema samhati means associate. So the phrase prema samhati means beloved associate. Sri Chandrasekhar Acharya is known as Sri Gaurasundara's maternal uncle. Therefore, Mahaprabhu addressed him as father and established him as the object of Chandrasekhara's Vatsalya Rasa or parental affection. He also revealed that in each of his incarnations, Chandrasekhara Acharya maintained a reciprocation of loving exchanges with him. Sri Gaurasundara is always bound in his heart. So the Lord told him to return to Mayapur and inform everyone about his departure for the forest, consenting to the request of Keshav. The Lord kept him in front and performed Sankirtana as he followed behind. The heart of Sri Chaitanya Chandra was filled with intense feelings of separation for Lord Krishna. He chanted the names of Krishna as he began to walk in search of Krishna. Ite kabaliyatane takura chalila murchagata hai Chandrasekhara padila. After speaking in this way, the Lord departed and Chandrasekhara fell unconscious to the ground. Another reading of Tane hymn is Tabe then. Krishnera Acintya Shakti Bunja Hena Yaya Atayeva Se Virahe Pranaraksha Paya. The inconceivable potency of Krishna cannot be understood. Therefore, even in the state of separation, he survived. Shaneka Caitanya bhi Shri Chandrasekhara Navadipe Prati Tino Gelena Satvara. After shortly thereafter regaining his external consciousness, Sri Chandrasekhara immediately left for Navdeep. The word Chaitanya in this verse refers to external consciousness. Tabe Navadipe Chandrasekhara Aila Sabha Sthane Kahi Lena Prabhu Vane Gela. When Sri Chandrasekhara arrived in Navdeep, I told everyone the Lord has taken sannyas. Sri Chandrasekhara Mukhe Suni Bhakta Gana Artanada Kari Sabe Karenata Prandana. On hearing this news from Sri Chandrasekhara, all the devotees began to cry pathetically. So now we are seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starting to leave for the forest, and this entire pastime of Viraha starting to happen. And he's embracing Chandrasekhara Acharya. And after embracing Chandrasekhara Acharya, he's saying that you go back to Navdeep and tell all the residents of Mayapur that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas. He had gone away in the night, so everybody is searching. So he has taken sannyas and he has gone to the forest. Now you can understand how difficult service this is, that you have to go and break this seemingly very sad news to all the devotees. And also, so you have to bear, and for you, and for personally, for Chandrasekhara Acharya to be separated from the Lord, whom he cannot be separated for even for a moment. So it is externally a pastime of very, very intense feelings. Right? Now, you will see again that by performing these pastimes, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is elevating multiple devotees and or giving them the different depth of the rasas. Now, Chandrasekhara Acharya in Gaur Leela is a maternal uncle. I think he is married to the sister of Sachimata, and he is thereby in Vatsalya Rasa, and he's almost like the father. So you will see here that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying some very important things, and then we will look into it. First, he is saying that he first embraced Chandrasekhara Acharya and began to cry loudly. And then he says, go home and inform all the Vaishnavas that I am going into the forest. Right? And he's saying, return home without feeling remorse. Another reading for Chala Tumi, you go is whatever happens. If you say you go, don't worry about what happens, you just go and deliver this message. Right? For I am always bound within your heart. So I am not getting separated from you. I am actually in your heart. This is the first part we have already seen in the previous pastimes, that when externally viraha happens, Krishna becomes much more manifest in the heart, and he becomes personally manifest in the uh, remembrance and dreams of that particular person. And in that sense, he becomes more and more bound in the heart. And when the consciousness focuses more and more on the separation, Krishna becomes more and more manifest. He's already in the heart. It is just that our consciousness is now going into all these external things, and hence we are not able to realize Krishna. But if we are able to come in contact with the devotees of Krishna, and then we develop the love, and then we start engaging in some pastimes with Krishna, have a meeting with Krishna, and then Krishna is somehow, one is separated from Krishna, then this intense feeling of separation leads to more and more closer association with Krishna. It is said that devotees go through 3 sine waves, right? Initially, one comes into Krishna consciousness, becomes very enthusiastic, and there is one sine wave going up, reaches the top, and after that, so everything is new. Prasadam is new, Rath Yatra is new, Kirtan is new. So Utsahamayi Bhakti, the first stage, really goes up. And after some time, that Utsaha gradually sort of vanishes, and then he has to get into proper Anarthanavati. So Gana Sarala, all that happens. And then he goes down, almost down the wave. It becomes very difficult. It becomes slightly, sometimes it becomes like a dragging process, right? After a few years. So unless he's in the association of devotees and actively participating in some service, that devotee might feel that he's actually going down the slope. And then the next sine wave starts when they start getting some ruchi, some association, diksha, and some services. And then finally it gets to the height when they almost meet Krishna, right? And when he meets Krishna, he sees Krishna, he becomes ecstatic because of his, beyond Anartha, the entire bhava. And then Krishna disappears. When Krishna disappears, he again plunges into a full feeling of separation because he's just met Krishna, seen Krishna, the beauty of Krishna, and the person is now bereft of that association. And then in that separation, when the person still does service and does bhajan, in feeling of separation, then that separation develops Krishna prem, and then again comes to associate with him in the pastime. So this sine wave keeps the 2-3 stages of sine wave, and then it keeps on going. So that is what is happening here, in one sense, that when we are externally separated, internally Krishna enters the heart. And obviously, these devotees are Nityasiddha devotees, eternal devotees of Krishna. So when they go through these pastimes, they experience higher and higher ecstasies of Krishna consciousness. So here, in this place, we have discussed this particular. There are 2-3 things we can discuss here. One is when externally Krishna leaves, and we will discuss that. You will see that Chandrasekhar Acharya falls unconscious. Then internally, Krishna is there in the heart. So that's what here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, I am always bound within your heart. And in the pastimes of like Gopakumar in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, you see that before Lord Narayan, he faints. And when he faints, inside he sees, because he's in the assembly of all devotees, he tries to rush towards Lord Narayan, and the guards hold him back. And in that feeling of separation that he cannot reach Narayan, he faints. And internally, Lord Narayan speaks to him. So externally, because there are the external pastime, there are so many devotees, there are certain rasas which are not possible, because in Vaikuntha, Gopakumar was approaching like a Gopa, which is Vrindavana mood, which was not possible. But then he fainted and the reciprocation was different. And here also, you will, while it's not explicit, one may presume that he is entering the heart of Chandrasekhar Acharya and giving him the solace. And that you will see here when in the sloka, it is after speaking this way, Lord departed and Chandrasekhar Acharya fell unconscious on the ground. Then he fell unconscious as soon as this thing. And the inconceivable potency of Krishna cannot be understood. Therefore, that even in that state of separation, he survived. Usually, when such a big shock happens, a person cannot survive, and especially pure devotees cannot survive this separation. But Krishna, uh, by entering into the heart and by giving them a service, because the real connection is Krishna's service. As long as one has Krishna's service, one is always associated with, and that service comes from Guru. So one is always associated with Guru and Krishna. That's what Srila Prabhupada used to say. Every moment, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj is with me. My Guru Maharaj is with me. So by giving the service and personally coming into the heart, Krishna protects that devotee. In fact, if you will see, it is almost like an embrace of the heart. When externally the circumstances become very bad, or become separation in a Leela, internally Krishna embraces the heart and it's so much in ecstasy that it does not feel the pain of the separation which is happening externally. And Krishna does this for multiple devotees. And so by inconceivable potencies of Krishna, he survives. And this we can see in the pastimes of gopis also, that almost they are on the verge of giving up their life when they realize that Krishna is not coming back, he's staying in Dwarka. They are almost going to give up their life, but there are two things that enable them to survive. What are those two things? Why do they keep their life? Why do the gopis retain their life?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, because Krishna said he will come back.
Yes, very nice. Anybody else wanted to add to that?
Yeah, it will be very painful to Krishna if they give up their lives.
Yes, that's also very nice. That is very nice. Anybody else? So, Aishe, Krishna said, I will come back. And when Krishna comes back, if he sees that all of them have left, no, then Krishna will feel, and they can't afford to make Krishna sad even for a second. Second, Krishna writes that letter that we'll talk about. And in that letter, he writes, please take care of the cows, please take care of everything. So they have service. So they have a service, so they try to do the service so that as if Krishna is going to return. Every day they keep everything. Yashodamaya cooks. And everything in Braja, they keep it like ready because Krishna might come anytime. And if he sees that the cows are weak and the plants have dried away, then he will not be happy. So they have a service. That is one. Second, in Uddhav Sandesh, like I said, Krishna clearly shows how he personally enters the heart and the pastimes, and he has never left Vrindavan. He's doing one-on-one pastimes. Previously, he was doing pastimes where everybody could see. Now he's personally reciprocating to each and every one. So they got elevated from a mass pastime to a personal pastime exchange. And when they realize that, then in that separation, in fact, separation becomes a way of meeting Krishna, right? So in the intense separation, when they meditate, oh, Krishna has left, then they meet Krishna inside. So Viraha becomes a meditation for meeting. So they hold on to their life. These are inconceivable potencies and pastimes of Krishna. Now, you will also see a few other things in this pastime. He says that you are my father, I am your son, and you are my beloved associate birth after birth. This first sentence, Krishna speaks, and again, in many leelas this is spoken, especially Krishna has also spoken this sentence. Can anybody remember what is the pastime? When does he say this?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says it.
Yeah, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says it. When does Krishna say it?
Raghunandan, when
Raghunandan, okay. That is also a very nice pastime. Devotee's pastime, yes. In Krishna Leela,
Krishna says to Nanda Maharaj.
yes, very nice. Krishna. And what circumstances does he say this to Nanda Maharaj?
when they go to Mathura that time, and when he's going to leave Nanda Maharaj.
When he goes to Mathura, and specifically, you said something?
When he is going to leave Nanda Maharaj at that time.
Yes. So this entire pastime is it's if you read Acharya's books, Goswami's books, how Akrura comes and requests for Krishna to be taken to Mathura by Kamsa's order, and then everybody is so distraught. Yashoda Maya doesn't want to leave Krishna, but when she sees that Nanda Maharaj is somehow convinced by Akrura, she actually asks for a promise that please promise to me that you will bring Krishna back. And Nanda Maharaj promises that he will bring Krishna back. Right? And after so many, then there is entire thing of Akrura's chariot going away, and then how gopis kidnap Krishna from the chariot, take him to the forest, and then by Balram's intervention, Akrura cleverly brings Balram, and by his intervention again Krishna leaves the gopis, comes to the chariot, and then he goes, and the gopis stop the chariot, and then he kidnaps them. He goes to Mathura, and Mathura then he enters, then the entire Kualya Pita, he kills the elephant. Next day he kills Kamsa. All of that happens. So they camp outside the city. Nanda Maharaj and everybody camps outside the city. Krishna and Balram enter the city, then come back. Next day, everybody goes for the festivities, the big sporting match, the wrestling match, and then Kamsa is killed. And then the day after that, everybody and 1 or 2 days they are getting ready to leave. But after Krishna and Balram have met Vasudeva and Devaki, and there is also this conversation with them where they beg for permission to leave. But Vasudeva and Devaki says many things. They say many things. And one of the things they also say.
I know, Suranda did that. You really don't like it. I know that. That's why I put it.
So that is where they say that now only Kamsa is killed, but now all the Jarasandha and all the other kings have become envious and become angered that Kamsa is killed. So we are in bigger danger. So please protect us. And they say many, many things. You can't leave. We have been in separation. So all of that, and Krishna and Balram then are not getting the permission to leave. Then Krishna and Balram come, and Krishna meets Nanda Maharaj, and that is one of the most heart-wrenching scenes, externally speaking, internally very ecstatic, when he speaks to Nanda Maharaj, and he says that somehow they believe that I am their son, but I am your son, and I am your son eternally. And I want to come back, but I have some duties here, and all these kings have become envious. And then he also says things and says that if I go to Vraja, all these comes and kings will come and Jarasandha will come and attack Vraja, and the entire peaceful atmosphere of Vraja will be spoiled, and my dear ones might be in danger. So he didn't want to put his dear ones in danger. So he said, I am your son eternally. And he cryingly tells Nanda Maharaj that you go home, I will come. And this is Nanda Maharaj cannot bear that separation. But he has to turn back home and bear this news and tell this news to all the Brajavasis and to Yashoda Maya that Krishna is not coming back. He has left. He is going to be in Dwarka. And he has become, from a coward boy, he has become the prince. This is a message which is very, very difficult. And how can he face his wife who had asked him for a promise that you will bring Krishna back? And he knows what will be his own state and what will be the state of Yashodamai when she hears the news. What will be the state of the gopis? What will be the state of all the Brajavasis when they hear this? And how will the cows and the trees and the land of Braja, the peacocks, will feel when he conveys this message? And he is the king of Braja, and how can he fail everybody like that? And Krishna, who is the beloved of everybody, he is not able to bring him. Now, Chandrasekhar Acharya is also undergoing, I'm not dwelling on this because it can become very, this thing. Chandrasekhar Acharya is also feeling something similar in Vatsalya Bhav. Here he says, I am your son, but now you have to go back. And whatever happens, just don't become sorrow, right? Don't feel any remorse. I am in your heart, whatever happens. Either you say chala to me or whatever happens. As Maharaj is very nicely pointed out. You don't feel remorse. Because Chandrasekhar Acharya feel remorse. How can I carry this kind of a message? Please go and tell everybody that I have taken sannyas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas and he has left for the forest. So Chandrasekhar Acharya now, Chandrasekhar Acharya in Krishna Leela, or in other, originally it can be called the moon, or some people say he is Subhadra, is the orchestrator of the pastimes, or as a moon, he is an ancestor, he is a fatherly figure, or whatever. In this case, he is the maternal uncle. And he has to go and convey this message to all the Navdeep Vasis that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas. So he goes after regaining consciousness. The word here is he regained Chaitanya, right? So he regained his consciousness, or he again got internal association with Krishna. But Maharaj says here that word Chaitanya here refers to external consciousness. So he regained his consciousness and he arrived in Navdeep and he told that Prabhu Vane Gela. He has taken sannyas and he has gone to the forest. He has become a prince and he has gone to Mathura. Right? On hearing this news, all devotees began to cry pathetically. So we'll read that. Shri Chandrasekhara Mukhe Suni Bhakta Gana Arthanada Kari Save Karena Krandana. On hearing this news from Shri Chandrasekhara, all devotees began to cry pathetically. The other thing is, similar things have happened in other pastimes also when somebody had to carry this news of the Lord's going away, right? What other pastimes can you think of when this kind of message had to be carried? Which other pastimes? Obviously, in Lord Ramchandra's Leela, the charioteer Sumantra, right? The charioteer of Dasharath, and who had accompanied with Lord Ram to leave them. And when we came till Guha, till the Ganga Tat, after that, he said, you please go back and inform my father that I'm going into the forest. Right? And he had Sumantra had come back, and when he informed, all the Ayodhya Vasis became distraught. And Dasharath Maharaj began to cry pitifully, and he eventually, everybody, all the mothers started crying pitifully, and eventually Dasharath Maharaj even left the body in separation, thinking about Lord Ram. So these kind of pastimes externally are very difficult. But internally, Krishna embraces the heart, and with this kind of pastime, he condenses the rasa, the Vatsalya rasa so much that devotees then get elevated to the next depth of rasa or the next level. So here, in that Vatsalya rasa, Chandrasekhar Acharya is becoming very, very intimate and intimately experiencing Lord Chaitanya in his heart like never before. So all the devotees began to cry. Koti mukha haile o se saba vilapa varnite na pari se sabara anutapa. Even if I had millions of mouths, I would be unable to describe their lamentation and repentance. Another reading of say that is tan there. This repentance and lamentation is, there is viraha, and then it is personal, it is their lamentation. And that lamentation leads to such union, it cannot be described. And externally, it is so, heart-wrenching and pathetic, and internally, it's so blissful. अद्वैत बले मोर न रहे जीवना विदारे पाषाणा काष्टा सुनी से क्रंदना. Advaita Prabhu said, I cannot remain alive. On hearing his cry, even stone and wood melted. This is another part of Viraha. When you hear the Gopi Geet and all the other Viraha songs, even the most hard-hearted uh, material person like us, they will be moved. And when we listen to this kind of pastimes of Viraha, so the sadhaka gets a chance to get some mellows by which he will cross over Anartha Nivarti and enter the Raganuga Bhajan uh, with by following in the footsteps of some of the devotees, who for us is Srila Prabhupada, in Raga and enter into Ruchi and Bhava and so on, Ruchi and Asakti and so on and so forth. So the heart of everybody melted. Advaita suniva matra haila murchita prana nahi dehe prabhu padila bhumita. As soon as Advaita heard this news, he fell unconscious to the ground with no sign of life remaining in his body. Another reading of Advaita suniva matra haila suniya haila mantra Advaita both means as soon as Advaita heard this news. He just heard this news and that became the impetus for him to fall unconscious. Right? That separation is unbearable, or this news itself carried Chaitanya Mahaprabhu into their hearts. That this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, same as when Krishna then writes a letter, or when Krishna writes a letter after 2-3 days, and in fact, when Nanda Maharaj he writes that letter, and Nanda Maharaj, or later he sends the letter, that letter is read by everybody in the top of the one big tila in Nandagram, and there, when everybody hears that I will come back, please maintain the cows, please maintain everything, that one news itself sort of relieves everybody. So, Sachi Devi Shoke Rahi Lena Jada Haya Priti Mapu Tali Yena Ache Dandiya. In lamentation, Mother Sachi became stunned. She stood there like an artificial doll. The word Dandiya means remain standing. Another reading for Sloka, Soke in lamentation is Bola, speech. Right? She was almost stunned without speech, without able to speak. She didn't know what to say. And then she was experiencing this deep separation. And in this deep separation, she was, so much of feelings that I cannot meet Krishna now, I cannot see Krishna, I cannot feed Krishna. So like that, I have said in the previous discussions that she was in a particular, Sachi Mata was in even elevated. Her elder son had left, her husband had left, her elder son had left, and she was practically alone with her daughter-in-laws. So she was in a very, very pathetic state externally. So she was completely stunned. Bhakta pati narayata pati vrata gana bhumita padiya sabha karena krandana. The devotees' wives and other chaste ladies fell to the ground crying. Another reading of Ara and his Sabha all. So all the Navdeep Vasis were feeling lamentations. I'm going slightly fast because we are out of time. Advaita bale ara kikariya jivana sehana takura mora chadila yatana. Advaita Prabhu said, what is the use of this life when such a Lord has left me? प्रविष्ट है मुआजी सर्वत्र गंगाया दीने लोकाधरी बेका चलीमो निश्चया. Today I will certainly drown myself in the Ganges. People will stop me during the day, so I will go at the night. Another reading for Ajit today is Muni I. All right. So I will give up this body. I will go to the Ganges and drown myself, because devotees feel that without Krishna and Krishna's service, there is no point in maintaining this soul and body together. He Mata Vira He Sakala Bhakta Gana Sabara Haila Bada Chitta Utshatana. In this way, the heart of all devotees were agitated with feelings of separation. Purna Mate Chitta Keha Swasthya Nahi Paya Deha Edi Bare Saba Chahe Sadaya. They could not find any means to pacify their heart, so they constantly decide to give up their lives. The word edibare means to give up. Another reading for Chahana Sadaya, constantly desired, is Nirvadi Chaya, always desire. So they either give up their life or they can give up this external pastime and engage in what they have already desired, their internal association with Krishna. यदि पिया से बेय परम महाधीरा तबु केह कहरे करीते ना है स्थिराम. Although they were all most sober, none of them were able to pacify any of the others. Another reading for kahare, anyone is karo, anyone. Nobody was able to pacify the other. And the only solace in these times is discussion of Krishna Katha and Krishna Kirtana. Bhaktagana Deha Tyaga Bhavila Nishchaya Jani Sabha Prarabodhi Akashavani Haya. When the devotees all resolved to give up their bodies, they heard solacing words from a voice in the sky. Another reading for Bhavila thought is Janiya decided. Or Bhaviya thought, another reading is Jani, knowing, is Tabe then. So when either they thought like this, or they decided like this, or they dreamt, they started seeing thought like this in their remembrance, in their bhavya. So then what happened? They heard a voice, or they thought, or they heard a voice. Dukhana Bhaviha Advaiti Bhakta Gana Sabe Sukhe Kara Krishna Chandra Aradhana. For devotees headed by Advaita, do not feel saddened. You should all happily engage in the worship of Lord Krishna. So this voice in the sky comes, which reinvigorates the devotees, like the letter of Krishna, which says that don't worry, you don't feel saddened, you just engage in the worship of Krishna. Sei Prabhu yei dina dui chari vyaje asiya miliba toma sabaramaje. The Lord will return and meet you in 2 or 4 days. It can never be said when the Lord will come, but it's Lord's desire. But in 2 or 4 days he will come. Since the devotees headed by Sri Advaita were extremely unhappy due to Sri Chaitanya Deva's acceptance of sannyas, they resolved to give up their lives. At that time, they heard a voice from the sky telling them that Sri Gaurasundara enactment of pastimes of giving up the external test of a devotee was only temporary. His pastime or accepting sannyas was for giving up the association of non-devotees. So he was accepting sannyas to give association to the non-devotees. Another reading for Dina Dui Chari, 2 or 4 days, Due Tina Chari, 2, 3 or 4. Another reading for Maje is amongst his Samaje. So he will come in your midst, and he will come in 2, 3 or 4 days. So that Aisha, I will come back. In fact, Krishna said, I'll come just day after tomorrow morning or something like that. He said, I'm just coming back 1 or 2 days. So that is what gives the life to the devotees. Dehatyaho keho kichu naba vihamane purvatasa ve vihare prabhu sane. Therefore, do not think of giving up your bodies. You will again enjoy pastimes with the Lord like before. Another reading of Vihare Prabhu Sane, will enjoy with the Lord, is Vihariya Ekastane. Will enjoy together. So he will come back here and you will enjoy together here. Suniya Akashavani Sarva Bhakta Gana Deha Tyaga Prati Sabe Chadila Mana. After hearing the voice from the sky, all devotees gave up their plans to commit suicide. So this is what happens to the inhabitants of the Dham, whether you are in Ayodhya, whether one is in Braja, in Gokula, Nandagaon, or one is in Navadip. The Lord has intimate pastimes with them, where the eternal devotees get reinvigorated. They experience new pastimes, like we discussed last time in the connection with Sachi Mata and Yashoda Maya, and what Devaki could not experience. Devaki could not experience in Krishna Leela. She experienced in this Leela, in Gaura Leela. So they get more experiences than they experienced in Krishna Leela, whatever was left over. So that way, Chaitanya Leela is an epilogue. We discussed this point. Then, for the new people entering the Dham, like the new gopis, it elevates them from their previous bhava to the bhava of the Dham. So like in the case of, for example, all the rishis met Lord Ramchandra in Dandakaranya forest. They became gopis, and those gopis were trained by eternal associates like Radharani, Lalita Saki, Vishal Saki in this viraha. In fact, Radharani personally trains them when Krishna disappears in the Ras Leela, and she makes them sit and they recite Gopi Geet, and Krishna comes back. So like that, by training, they become Brajvasis. They become from Lord Ramchandra's Leela, they become uh, trained to enter Krishna's Leela, and this unique, intimate Madhurya love he gets. And similarly, here the Navadip Vasis, after hearing this news of separation, suddenly they want to give up their life. And then the Akashvani comes, and they know Lord Chaitanya is coming back. So they started preparing their services. And it says, just worship Krishna. Don't think of leaving this body. You still have services to do. And they maintain the services. So all the people who are entering Navadip, who are new, they get elevated into this mood of separation of the gopis, which many of the Brajavasis don't even get in Krishna Leela. Only the gopis, mostly it's the gopis. The gopas don't have that kind of viraha. So here, all the Brajavasis, all the Navadipvasis enter into that pastime. So we have seen, and I can elaborate on this, but because of the time, there are 2-3 things we have seen today. How uh, this external viraha is actually internal union and it is bliss, and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord takes different devotees through this viraha pastimes, and all those devotees elevate in their spiritual experience, like Keshav Bharati Maharaj elevated from by experiencing the taste of Krishna Kirtan. Chandrasekhar Acharya elevated in his Vatsalya Prema, and how all the Navadip Vasis became elevated by getting this mood of separation of the gopis. So this is the purpose. And when he externally preaches, he converts many non-devotees. And then internally, he gets alone time to pursue the internal mode, which he will do when he goes to Jagannath Puri and after he has preached. So this is why this viraha pastimes are there. And lastly, as sadhakas, 2 things we get. One, we hear these pastimes, we get the impetus to go beyond Anartha Nivritti and get into Raganuga and get into specific relationships. Second, as sadhakas, we all can also understand that this is the mood of service. When we take Diksha, we become associated with the Guru, and then either because Guru goes to some other place or because he or she enters the eternal pastimes, there is a feeling of separation. The devotee doesn't want to continue in this world separated from his beloved spiritual master. But the instructions of the spiritual masters for the service of Krishna, those Vani Seva, that instruction is what keeps him alive. And in doing those services, he or she experiences this service and separation, which is the mood of the gopis, where they continue to serve the cows and the Brajavasis, because Krishna will come back to Braja. They were maintaining Braja. They never left Braja and went to Mathura to be with Krishna. So similarly, like Prabhupada Stane, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Stane Stita, Prabhupada said, wherever you are, continue the services. And that is what all the Guru Maharaj have said. In that service of separation, by serving the Vani, one gets elevated from this Anartha Nivritti to Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, and develops intimate relationship with Guru, and so by the mercy of Guru with Krishna. So this is the process. So this viraha is the 7th sloka, like it says. We have to go through this viraha to attain Krishna Prema. So these are some reflections on the pastimes of viraha. I think there are many verses we can't go into everyone, but I'm so very fortunate and thank you for this opportunity where I could share some of the reflections. If I made any mistakes, please do correct me. And I'm very sorry for exceeding the time. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much. So, yes, Yeshomati Mataji, please take over.
Go ahead, Mataji, go ahead.
Thank you for the very nice class, Prabhu. The verses were covered so nicely and you made us think and also relish the verses. Very grateful to you. I don't have questions, but I enjoyed the class so much. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mahaprabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru Maharaj. Such a wonderful class. Oh, whole class is for the mood of separation. How you explain everything in details by giving the verse and examples different, and how you take us in the Vrindavan Gopis Vira. It was really nice, and how Chandrasekhar Acharya here, he get like a fainted after hearing when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him to go and give the message that I took sannyas and I will go to forest. And how he is, and also Keshav Bharati, you talk about that, the Keshav Bharati Maharaj, how he experiencing the Sankirtan movement is more far higher than the whatever he is believing the impersonalist thing, right? That before he wasn't, and also Shukdev Maharaj, same thing by hearing the two verses from the Vyasdevaji's Shishyas, disciples, and how he changed his automatic transfer his heart from Brahma to like a physical uh, feeling with experience of with Krishna and Krishna's devotional service. Such a wonderful class, and whole class you talk about the how Gopi got separation, even though they are in the separation mode, but still inside they were feeling so much connection with Krishna in their heart, because all the time whatever they were doing the work, anything, they always remember Krishna. So by internally they just connection with Krishna, connected with Krishna, but outwardly. And Uddhavji also, he just gave to give the knowledge to Gopi, but he took the knowledge from the Gopi, how we should do. So Krishna loves the devotional service. If we do the devotional service very wholeheartedly, then Krishna loves that service, and then he can give us the love of God. That is good. Very nice class, Prabhuji. So much. Thank you so much for that. This very detailed class of separation mode, how one should do that, and how we should engage ourselves in the service of Krishna. Prabhuji, you have time?
Yeah, I have time. If there are any questions, we can discuss.
Yeah. Is there any question, dear devotees, or reflection? I like the point of Prabhuji that whatever you have, you can give it to someone. If you have love in your heart, then you can love others. And Guru Maharaj always says like that. If you love
Yes.
someone, you automatically get love from them.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did anybody ask a question? Somebody I saw a raised hand. Did Anjali Mataji, did you have a question? Okay.
No one have a question, Prabhuji. So, if your permission, can we
Yes.
end the call? Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for this very good and beautiful, very, nectarian class. And we are very grateful to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you, all glories to your services, Prabhuji. And we are look forward to your association again in future. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री
जय
चैतन्य भागवत की जय।
जय
हिज ग्रेस अचिंत्य गोपेश दास प्रभु जी की जय। हरि बोल प्रभु जी,
जय।
दंडवत
कोटि कोटि दंडवत
प्रणाम।
प्रणाम। जय श्री प्रभुपाद।
Hare Krishna Dhamma Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji,
Thank you. Thank you.
for wonderful, wonderful nectaring class. It was really amazing. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you,
Pranam,
Maharaj. Krishna.
humble obeisances unto you.